This is my Apex class and this is my Visualforce page. As I told you, so we'll have the one-to-one communication. So this is my Apex class. Suppose I want to display some of the record and all, some hard code value only. Okay, so what I will do here, public suppose string str, something like this. So for that, like if you'll go to lightning component and lightning web component, we have @ or enable. Here we have to use getter and setter. Okay, getter and setter only. Suppose, and here I will create one of the constructor. In this constructor, if I want to assign some of the value for the string, then suppose I can say hello, something like this. Okay, so this is our code. Okay, so if I want to make this communication with our Visualforce page, okay, so in this one, page, oh sorry, yeah, this is not a page, this is my Apex class only. Let me create Visualforce.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. You made 2 classes.
Mistakenly, I think. I was thinking in separate way, somewhere else. So here communication is, this is my class and this is my क्लिक कर दिया भाई मैंने,
वॉल्यूम बटन प्रेस्ड हो गया.
हाँ वो गलती से पता नहीं. हाँ, so now I call this a controller, this Apex class here. This is my communication. So suppose I want to create some of the form here, some of the section and some of the block. So in Visualforce page, you know, like if some of the other developers, other technology developer will come to Salesforce, they have to learn all these things. They have to learn all these blocks. They have to learn everything in the Salesforce. These are these things. Okay, so this is a block. This is a Apex. So this namespace we are using here, like everything they have to learn. But in Aura, so it is less learning in Salesforce. But in the LWC, there are very less learning of Salesforce. Other technology work directly can work in this one. Yeah, actually it was my internet problem, I think so. Yeah, so I was explaining page block section. Between that, if suppose I want to display some of the like suppose I'm displaying Amarjit only. Amarjit, I written Amarjit here. So whatever the hard coding things I'm doing here, so it can display. It will not give us any kind of error message. But suppose the same things I'll write in the Apex class. Suppose I'm writing here, or I'm writing anywhere somewhere else here. So definitely it will not allow us to save the Apex class. It will throw an error message. These are syntax error message. Okay. Let me undo, let me save my code, and here directly I can save my code with this name. If I want to see the output of this Visualforce page, so this is a preview button. I will click on this preview button. So it will display the output now. This is Amarjit, right? So this is our output. So if I want to create some of the input field, input text or something like this, suppose I want to give some value. So in this value, I want to give some of the Apex class. You know, Apex class. I have this str. I want to call this string, this variable here, some of the label or something like this. So once I will be save this once, and then this will be reload automatically. This is reloading, right? So this is my output. Hello, welcome to web SFDC. Where I'm writing this thing, I'm not writing in Visualforce page. I'm writing in the Apex class side. So this is my Apex class side. This is my Visualforce page. This is the output of that. Okay. Suppose this thing I want to display on output field. Instead of writing input text, I will write output here. Okay, like this we can like display the things in the Salesforce side and all. So this is an output form. This is not input, right? So we can display this is read only now. So this is the communication between Visualforce page and like Apex class. So if you'll go to Visualforce page, so we have this controller. So we can say this is the like this is my custom controller. So we have multiple type of controller here. So one is custom controller, second is standard controller, third is our we can say standard set controller, okay, extension controller. So we have 4 controller here. So if I'll go there, so yeah, this is my custom controller. So what is difference between standard and custom is standard controller where we can never use the custom Apex. This is Apex class, right, which we created here. So this is a custom code which we written here. Custom means which we created, standard is which is Salesforce is providing by Salesforce side. So suppose this is my custom class. So I can say this is my custom controller, which I'm using in the Apex class. Sorry, in the Visualforce page. Okay, this is custom controller. Suppose I'm using a standard controller. So in that scenario, I will never use the custom controller. I will never use the Apex class in the Visualforce page. I will directly use the standard controller here. This is a standard controller. Suppose I'm using account object. So in the backend, I have this account object. I'm calling this account object. I want to retrieve all the records, all these records. Suppose I have some of the records in a contact object, on account object, anything. Suppose I have some of the records in a contact object. I want to display all these records in the UI side. So that time I can say there is some tags records at war. I can say contact. And this is a contact. So this is a standard controller. Custom I already explained. Standard I will show. So suppose I want to display the output in the some of the table form. So I can say it's a page block table. Okay, in this page block table, I can say it's a value is required. Value, I can say whatever contacts I written here. And I can say it's a war column. I need to display the output in the column. Text column. Phone dot whatever the name of the field. Suppose I have last name. Suppose this is my output. I just want to see the last name. So let me refresh this page. It will display 2 last name. You know why? Because if I'll go to contact object, so I have only I have only 2 last name. This is Amar 30. Okay, suppose I'm writing the one more record here. Suppose web SFDC Amarchi. And I'll refresh this page now. So this web SFDC Amarjit is also displaying, right? So whatever contacts it is existing in the contact object, every contact means I'm just trying to explain you. This is a standard controller. Here I'm not using any Apex class to display the things. The same things I also can perform with the Apex class as well. Then if I can perform the same thing with the Apex class and I can perform the same thing with standard controller, then why I'm using the Apex class? Then why we are learning the Apex class? If you are using this, we can do all these things with the Visualforce way. Because why? Because if you want some customized code, suppose you want to create some of the calculator program, you want to do some plus minus subtract divide division, something like this, you want to perform these things, you can never perform in the standard controller. You can call the standard things only. Suppose you have some custom object, that also you can call. If you have standard things, you can call the things from the backend, like from the Salesforce side, whatever custom object and all you have, so that you can call here directly. So whatever admin thing you directly can call, but whatever the customization thing, whatever the development thing, you can never call, like suppose we are going to create some of the calculator, plus minus and all. So you want to you are doing the things here, like if you are clicking on the plus button, so then plus calculation method will be called. If I'm calling the minus button, then it minus method will be called, something like this it will happen. But in the case of custom controller, but in the standard we can never do this thing. That's why we are using custom controller instead of using the standard controller. So I'm also recommending you should always you should use the custom controller only instead of using standard controller. If there are some limitations, suppose you cannot use the, suppose you are using professional edition, so we have multiple edition in Salesforce. So in the professional edition we cannot create Apex class, but we can create the Apex Visualforce page only. Voice is breaking.
तुम्हारा आवाज ब्रेक हो रहा है।
अरे यार मेरा ना नेट चला गया।
हाँ भाई ब्रेक।
मेरा मतलब मैंने हॉटस्पॉट ऑन किया है, बट नहीं है, क्या हो गया? 1 second, लेट मी ट्राई। हाँ, अभी आवाज सही आ रही है? हेलो?
हाँ सही है।
No.
बेटर
अच्छा अच्छा ठीक है, सही है। So yeah, so I was explaining, so you understood or shall I repeat again, like because I was not aware, like
So basically standard controllers are just for the Salesforce objects, right? And then I didn't understand the
custom
one, like you were telling the dummy controller we have to minimum plus and minus, you were telling something, right?
yeah, right, like I was just trying to explain. Suppose let me just create the thing. Suppose this is my integer my value 1, something like this. I'm saying value 1 or my value 2 or something like this. I'm saying this is my result. Okay, so here if I'll create some of the methods, result is equal to value 1 plus value 2, right? Suppose similarly if I'll create multiple things here, suppose these are things sum minus, and this is subtract, sorry, minus, and I can say sir multiply, something like this. So I have multiple methods. So similarly I definitely need to use if this is sum, so it should be sum, in minus it should be minus only, if I'm using multiply it should be multiply only, right? Something like this. So I'm saving this code. So if I want to call this one, and by default it will be 0 only. Suppose I'm using result, definitely this should also be 0. Okay, so if I want to call the standard custom controller here, definitely I will not use like this. So I also will not use this one. Text, input text, first value result. So this is we have result, right? Third one result, value one result, and here we can see final result, something like it should be an output, right? Okay, so now we have to create a button. So we can see the result now. Result is now we can see the input, output, and all. So, but we cannot see any of the like result now, because we haven't created any of the button now. So if I'll see the thing, so this is my 0, 0, and 0, right? So there is button is not there. Like if I want to perform minus, plus, and something like this, how will I perform? Let me create button as well. I'll call action here. If it is a sum, it should be sum. If it is minus, if it is multiply, it's the sum, minus, and multiply. Something like this I created. So let me just go to and let me do one thing. Let me just keep these things outside this section. Let me get one of the block text, the block button. So this is my form. Okay, suppose I want to perform 12 plus, suppose 2, something like this. So I can see the result, it's 14 now. If I want to change something like this, if I'll see the result, it will automatically be changed, right? If I want to make it minus, definitely it will be going negative only, because 12 minus this. If I want to multiply, so it will be multiplied now. So this is my calculator. It's a small program. Okay, so the small program, if I want to achieve this custom controller, I can achieve with custom controller now. But if I want to use standard controller, this functionality I can never use. How will I call these things in the standard controller? So this is the main difference between standard and custom. Okay, this is the main difference, because if I want to write some custom logic where I need Apex class, on that scenario, I definitely need to use the custom controller. If there is some conditions, only we have conditions, I want to open the page. So even I can, it is not that much of dynamic. So this is more dynamic as compared to this. Similarly, if I want to use standard, extension controller, extension is a combination of your custom and standard. It's a combination of your custom and standard. So instead of using controller, so what will I use here? I will use extension, and so I will copy this one and I will paste here, and I will remove this thing. I will use standard, and I will use suppose contact, like this. Okay, if I will save this one, definitely it will display the error message. You know why? Because this is my custom controller and this is my extension controller. So it is saying we need to pass these things as a parameter of the constructor. We have to go there, and this is my constructor. So this is my constructor and I pass the parameter here. Let me save this class. So this is a part of my extension controller. Let me save this one now. So now if I want to display the number of records, suppose as I told you, like I given you two examples, one from custom, one from standard. From custom, I made one calculator. From standard, I displayed some record. So I'm just doing both the things. I'm combining both of the things in one page only. Suppose this is my contacts. Okay, and suppose I just want to display the number of record as well. Apex page block table. what it is saying. Extension controller. Specs pages or standard. Fine, no? 3 dummy controller. One second. Standard set controller. Acha. Got it. One second. Oh, hello. तो फिर आ जाए ना यहाँ पे कर लियो, क्या दिक्कत है? आ जाओ उधर कर ले कर, है नहीं क्या तेरे पास लैपटॉप? हम्म। चल ठीक है, अभी मैं क्लास में मैं करता हूँ। हाँ भाई, तो ये चीजें देखिए, इसका भी आ गया और इसका भी आ गया, तो ये सब चीजें होती हैं इसमें, मतलब जो आपको कंबाइंड करना है तो यू कैन कंबाइन बोथ ऑफ द थिंग्स एंड यू कैन डिस्प्ले द रिकॉर्ड्स। तो अपने स्टैंडर्ड भी हमने यूज कर लिया, वी ऑलरेडी यूज्ड द स्टैंडर्ड एज वेल एंड कस्टम एज वेल, सो बोथ द कंट्रोलर्स वी आर यूजिंग हियर। Okay. Similarly, like we can, like we have a communication which we can discuss tomorrow. These things we can discuss tomorrow about LWC and Aura component. Okay. So class is about to finish. It's 1 minute are left, so we can connect tomorrow. So if you have any question, then please let me know. Then I'll explain. Or it's clear.
It's clear. Thank you so much, Amar.
भाई एक छोटा रिक्वेस्ट है, आप ग्रुप में जो वीडियो डालो ना उसके साथ कुछ टाइटल डाल देना कि किस चीज का है।
हाँ sure bro.
ओके, थैंक यू।
Okay, bye. Okay then. Good night, yeah. I'm just dropping off.
Good night.